So, FinOps, that's what we are talking about here, right? I will take it a very simple way. ऐसा कुछ है, ठीक है, हमारे ब्लड में है, इंडियंस के ब्लड में. So, how many of you are married? कोई भी नहीं है. सब्जी लेने गए हो मार्केट में, 60 रुपए के प्याज के लिए बोले, 40 रुपए बिक रहा था पीछे वाला. Minimizing cost. Second thing what we talk about is maximizing value. दुनिया में चलिए फ्री में, that is not maximizing. So you first negotiate, कम से कम खर्चे में चीज ली, उसके ऊपर ऐड करने के लिए that is not maximizing. अब everybody is bachelor here, then मैं बच्चों में सबने बोला था कि ये 30 year later कोई भी नहीं है. फ्राइडे को कौन जाता है पार्टी में? पार्टी एवरीबॉडी नो राइट, पर पार्टी नहीं है. खर्चा तो नहीं है, सैलरी तो ज्यादा नहीं है, राइट? यू वांट टू मिनिमाइज द कॉस्ट. क्यों पब में जाना है, ठेके पे बैठते हैं. तो मिनिमाइजिंग कॉस्ट. हाउ अबाउट मैक्सिमाइजिंग द वैल्यू? ठेके के सामने तो यार फ्लड आया हुआ है, मेरी बात नहीं. Maximizing the value. Okay, minimizing the cost and maximizing the value. That is what we know. So हमारे ब्लड में just that we are not formalizing it in the IT. Right? We are just formalizing. I will take an example here. So मेरी आधी presentation तो जो खर्च, so I will not talk much about that. I will take some simple example. यहाँ पे देखिए recording is that is minimizing cost. That is minimizing cost. Right? So, how do we maximize the value? हमारे जाते ही YouTube पे. That is maximizing the value. Now I am coming to your audience. किसी मीटअप का रेट होता 5,000. How many are should have come? फ्री लर्निंग मिल रही है. मिनिमम खर्चे में आपको लर्निंग मिल रही है. And what is the maximizing the value? खाना फ्री. That is not maximizing the value. That is not the skill of practice. I will take into my practical example. You might have seen me moving here and there, right? आज के टाइम में किसके पास पैसा है जिम जाने का? Okay, you might be having. There are companies जिनके पास बहुत पैसा है, they don't care about. But at the same time पैसा कमाना भी है. So how what I do? I simply take my call while walking in the park. I am minimizing my cost of gym, maximizing it because I am working in that. That is in your practical. These are few of the channels. I mean, if you see around, as I said, भारतीयों में तो ब्लड में है सेविंग करना. They will try to save wherever possible. That's how we follow FinOps practices in our normal day-to-day. So now I will come back here. भूख लगा रहा है थोड़ा दिला दूं. People will laugh and then थोड़ा नींद खुल जाएगी. So observability, he said, right? FinOps in observability is not still that FinOps. To be very frank, every time we talk about, right, we talk about cloud. Cloud मेरी इसी के पे कितना जा रहा है, मेरे इस पे कितना जा रहा है, इस पे कितना जा रहा है. By the way, how many of you actually are in monitoring some application in Shift, looking at the alerting and all those stuff? So, कितना खर्चा कंपनी करती होगी वो टूल अडॉप्शन? Assuming 100 rupees तुम्हारा टोटल लगता है. After the product delivery operation comes up, कितना खर्चा करती होगी दिन में? How much percentage? 10%, 20%, 30% of the overall?
मैंने इसमें 120% भी देखा है. ज़्यादा जल्दी पैसा नहीं के ले जाओ.
So that is where I will try to explain. पुराने जमाने में क्या होता था? जल्दी क्या होता था कि ऑपरेशन वाले पोस्ट आप 5 लोग बिठा देते हो कंपनी के अंदर और बिल करते हो टाइम पे उन्होंने लिया. So that was a revenue model. Nobody see operation as an overhead. टाटा किसी भी कोई भी गाड़ी लेते हो आप, गाड़ी पे पैसा नहीं बचता, सर्विस पे देते हो. That's what it is. प्रोडक्ट आप रिलीज कर दो, उसका ऑपरेशन में 5 लोग आप बिठा दो कंपनी के अंदर, वो बिल कर रहे हैं 24 घंटे। बट व्हाट क्लाउड इज कैन AWS से हमारे पास EC2 है मशीन, बट मैं इसका खर्चा लूंगा पैसे के लिए? नो राइट। द होल प्राइसिंग मॉडल हैज चेंज इन द वे कि भैया $1 पर मिनट या $1 पर घंटा देना है, इसमें एवरीथिंग इंक्लूडेड, इसमें डेवलपमेंट भी इंक्लूडेड है, इसमें टेस्टिंग भी इंक्लूडेड है, इसमें ऑपरेशन भी इंक्लूडेड है, इसमें सपोर्ट भी। अब हम ऑपरेशन को नहीं देख सकते एज ए रेवेन्यू मॉडल। नाउ इट्स बिकम समथिंग वेयर वी हैव टू ऑप्टिमाइज एंड सेव मनी। आई एम नॉट टेलिंग द कस्टमर कि भैया आउट ऑफ $1 में से 10 मे भी बाहर जाके कस्टमर को बोलोगे हम 25 स्पेंड कर रहे हैं आपके सपोर्ट देने के लिए, बट इंटरनली यू आर ऑप्टिमाइजिंग इट टू मेबी 5 cents. That is the saving here. Now you are not advertising, but you are trying to optimize your operation processes the way you are optimizing your DevOps. It's very good. So that's what I think. This is what either Visual Store or Isko, I don't know, but both of us actually copied it from somewhere. So so everyone takes ownership of that project. Earlier operation never used to, but now there is a time when operation has to take step to actually optimize. You give the same kind of a service, 95%, 99%, whatever availability I have to give it, but at a minimum possible cost. That's what it all talk about. So again, lot of things are being already covered by good. Principle, चाहे वो cloud hosting में हो, चाहे observability hosting में हो, कहीं भी हो, it's generally remains same. आपको जो भी PID वाला मॉडल है, उसमें optimize करना है, switch on when you want to use, switch off when you are not using it. Very simple as that. Business value is very important. You can't switch off your production environment, right? Even there is no law. एक भी यूजर नहीं लॉगिन कर रहा है, but still you can't switch it off. So that may create an incident. गलती से भी किसी ने लॉगिन कर लिया, तो आपका 99% everything है. So you need to know the business value of that resource which you are trying to optimize. Is optimization is important, or actually the return it's giving me that is important. Accessibility of data, पहले मंथ में एक बार बिल आता था, अभी तो तुम्हारा हर मिनट में बिल चेंज होता है, right? Most of the cloud, most of the observability tools, आपके मॉडर्न है, they give you the right feed of your usages, what is your cost is, you can build your alerts, you can do all those stuff. Same goes with observability. Any tool, I will not name it other than Grafana. It's an open source, I can name it, but most of the tools give you some kind of a billing dashboard nowadays. And of course, this is being done by AWS. AWS, the president there, they are bringing such a detailed billing view, and everybody is working from there. Collaborate. DevOps, FinOps, development, testing, this is the key for any success in any of the activities. So this is observability with OpenTelemetry. So what I am going to cover is two things. One, I will not just touch base, but second, FinOps I will cover better. It's a real life experience which we have. We migrated to an open source. Even just migration is not enough. After migration, we optimize. The migration thing I will just not cover it there, but how we optimize is something which I will cover now. I will take example of Grafana billing thing, because in cloud, the billing is quite standardized now. You do it per minute, per basis, but in observability, it's still not standardized. Different tools actually bill it based upon the different criteria. So based upon those criteria, your FinOps strategy has to adjust. What I am taking example is the Grafana. I know how Grafana is built. I am talking about not open source, I am talking about Grafana. What we do. So everybody talks about whoever do the monitoring, know what traces is, what matrices is, what logs is. By the way, part of OpenTelemetry? No? Okay. So जब भी आप मॉनिटर करते हो, डैशबोर्ड आता है, डाटा आता है, कहाँ से? Somebody is handling it. There is something which is sitting in your infra or within your application who is actually handling it. Right? That something is what OpenTelemetry. Right? OpenTelemetry have that something which is embedded in your application, in your infra, whichever you want to monitor, and you can actually start collecting that data and send it. I will not get into the details of it, Just giving you an example what OpenTelemetry do. It will send the traces, it will send the practices, it will send the logs. How traces look like? This is you make an API call, फिट मारा तुमने पीछे गया, उसने कुछ कोड रन किया, DB पे गया, DB पे some SQL रन की, might have gone to some API gateway, वहाँ पे gateway पे कुछ किया, might have gone to AWS S3 bucket, वहाँ से कुछ fetch करके लाया, secret manager में गया होगा, वहाँ से उसने कुछ उठाया होगा, and then it returns. This is a long journey. It's like a tech. So phrase gives you that treatment. ये कहाँ पे गया और कितना time उसने वहाँ पे लगाया. That is what phrase is. Metric is more of your up and down. CPU is 90 gaya, 85 gaya, 90 gaya, 70 gaya resources covered. And I think logs everybody know. So these three are actually the golden signals which any observability person actually try to see and monitor in there. I will not get into more details. Just overview because these concept is required to understand FinOps in observability. In cloud case, FinOps is very easy to explain because everybody knows EC2, everybody knows RDS, everybody knows Kubernetes cluster. In observability, people do not know what are the resources, which cost you much. So three signals, they cost you, trace cost you, log cost you, metric cost you if you are feeding it to an observability tool. The total collector, as I said, is something which is sitting, that something is nothing but a pipeline. Pipeline कहीं से तो डाटा लिया है उसने, उसको थोड़ा प्रोसेस किया और उसको बैकएंड पे भेजा. तो जहां से ले रहा है दैट इज रिसीवर, प्रोसेस कर रहा है कुछ प्रोसेसर, इसको भेज रहा है बैकएंड दैट इज द थ्री कॉन्सेप्ट व्हिच इज इन देयर. Example receivers, Prometheus everybody know, from the Prometheus explorer. It might be reading a file in your file system to read the log. Those are all your receivers, sourcing up. Exporters, Grafana is one of the examples, Elastic is another example, you might be sending it to some tools. So that is what I will skip this, and this is where the FinOps starts. So, as I said, different observability tools actually cost you in a different way. How Grafana costs you? Grafana at the back end uses three databases: Prometheus, Loki, and Dala. All three are open source. Prometheus, the time series database, is stored time series. So, Grafana costs you on the number of time series you are storing. So, how many CPUs usage you are actually monitoring? That's how it goes to there. So that is where, if you see number of series, number of attributes, each series has multiple attributes. Machine का नाम होगा, or maybe some other thing, what is the configuration of it and all those things. और आपके attribute work out आपके. That is simple as that. Size, everybody know how many GBs of storage. Logs are generally done in that way. Then traces, some people do in a different way. Not do it on the same. There is another vendor who do it based upon the RAM size. So your application is having an 8 GB of RAM. It doesn't care how many traces it's generating. It's generating it from the 8 GB RAM. It depending on the size of the application or RAM which is there. Some do on that basis. So that's how understanding is needed. मुझे cost कहाँ है? अगर मेरा टमाटर महंगा हो गया तो मैं टमाटर पूरी यूज कर लेता हूँ. That is like, okay, what is costly in my whole food? So I have to kind of like, so okay. Know the business value. What is the value? FinOps practices in observability. I'm not touching it a lot of things in visual engine, so I have actually moved to FinOps practices in observability. Third of sampling. मेरे पास 100 ट्रेसेस हैं, 10 ही लेता हूँ, 90 डिस्काउंट. तो 10 ही शो कर लेता हूँ, 90 नहीं है. As I said, you have to understand what is the business value. Does all 100 have a business value? Maybe not. I just want to capture only the traces which is going beyond 2 seconds overall time. Something which is running in 10 milliseconds, I don't care. 5 seconds लगा मुझे वहाँ करना है कि 5 सेकंड में से इस कहाँ जाना है. I want to capture only that. I want to capture. Somebody is trying me 502, 503. I just want to capture only those. I don't want to capture 200. क्या करना है मुझे? So that is what sampling is. We call it as sampling and tail sampling. That is the concept. So that I am not getting into technical. If you want to get the detail of technical implementation, we can talk about the. I know I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the concepts. This is understanding the key APIs. Everybody build application, right? Imaging uठाने लाते हो, XML file उठाने लाते हो, JSON file उठाने लाते हो, static content. So I need to really worry about. What I worried about is my dynamic content. So I need to capture all the depth of microfile picture. So if you want to see your product, that's good. You know, it's static content. So that is what the key is. You need to understand what you want to do. That is, if you say my abstract, right? It's not what can be monitored, what should be monitored. You can monitor everything, all the calls, all APIs, everything. But what needs to be monitored? That need to be decided. You need to decide your key API, the heavy API which you really think will impact my customer. So it's again not an idea of 100% availability area. I want to build 99. I have another budget in there. I still can tolerate if one image is not loaded on the e-commerce. But I can't tolerate if my pay button is not working. Your pay button is more important than actually showing the image of that. So that's where you need to understand your key API. What the behind the scene, what my details logic is important, which I need to monitor. Of course, understand of various services and components, because what all application you want to monitor, all that. So as I see in Grafana, right, it build based upon how many APIs you are monitoring. 50, 40, 30. Can I club some of them? Can I say these 10 APIs, monitor them in a single response? Don't monitor them individually. This may be something like एक particular pattern है, वहाँ पे तुम्हारी 10 API call हो रही है, you are saying don't monitor them separately, उनका data add up करो, monitor it in the single. That is what I say, call pattern. You need to understand your application. Can I do a pattern based monitoring or I just want to individual based? So that's your same time. But now come to metrics detection, very important. If you keep having your old log, all metrics for years and years, observability will eat your log. You have thousands of terabytes of old data with you. You are still keeping it. Keeping it observability gives you a flexibility of searching. Right? They might be having some AI tool also, you can search based on that. To be really तो एक क्लियर 3 साल पहले मेरी एप्लीकेशन में क्या चल 3 साल में पूरा आर्किटेक्चर हो जाता है कंपनियां बंद हो जाती हैं यू डोंट नीड टू केयर अबाउट 3 साल पहले क्या चल रहा है retention very important to learn how much time I want to retain of course some compliance some banking application and all they want 7-year 8-year data to be maintained so you want to that then there is solution to put it back to S3 you don't want to keep it in the observability right you can cheaper storage in there histogram done already. You understand what histogram is? Are there people who are in observability world try to understand histogram? So, how much buckets I need in my histogram? You understand buckets, what the bucket is? What histogram is? You try to categorize or group your calls into smaller buckets. How many calls are there between 0 to 10 milliseconds? How many calls are there between 10 to 100 milliseconds? How many are there from 100 to 500 milliseconds? This is very important. From an observability point of view, right, what happens is your overall average response is still under control, but there are few calls which are going beyond 5 seconds. Your average response time will not give you that picture. You want to ask how many of those calls are beyond 10 seconds. Even my average response time is under control, I still want to optimize those 10 seconds. That's where histogram comes into it. You want to, but then you need to understand. You increase number of buckets, increase your cost. It is correct. My what we call tolerable limit is let's say 500 milliseconds. I don't want any bucket below 500 milliseconds. So what is your infinity? And the infinity means what is something which is completely intolerable. Anything which is going beyond 5 seconds is completely intolerable. I don't want any bucket beyond 5. 5 to 7, 7 to 10, I don't know. Anything above 5 is just not acceptable to me. So histogram vulnerability helps you in that. You define how many buckets really you want in there. Aggregation. So that is again taking an example of CPU usage, right? A data point comes every minute. ओके 10:10 पे 50% था, 10:11 था, 10:12 पे 70%. Do you need that? Maybe to start with for a few days, but after 10 days you want to say, give me every 5 minutes. Instead of having 3 or 4 or 5, make them one data point. Data point costs you. In Prometheus, surely data point costs you. Journey if you have written Prometheus, right? You see the scrap interval. Hard work and define your cost. Sample per minute, that's what I was talking about. Required labels, of course, you don't want to label everything. You want to select how many, what are the attributes of a metric you want. Do I really not want to know, is it a Linux box or is it a Windows box? If yes, you don't need that. So you select that. Logs are very simple, even structure and log patterns. Generally nowadays, modern applications are moving towards structured logs. In the past, it was all unstructured. But when it comes to structured logs, that gives you an opportunity to actually save money. You don't want to store it like a data. You just pull in only the required attributes. Your log might be giving you 20 attributes. Code, API name, is whatever other things, maybe variable name, character name and all. Do you really need everything? You may want to say, I just want these 3 or 4 attributes. I don't want more. You just get that in structured log. Of course, in unstructured, it's not possible. Low level, again, I'm sure in AI world, this will come in. Unstructured log, we still do some AI and figure out some key attributes out of this and do that. AI use case. Filtering, and then log levels. Every application has info, debug, warning, error. In production, do I really need debug log? Maybe we only error log, or maybe critical logs only. So make sure your application is actually setting that so that your log खर्चा कम हो जाएगा. Okay, so that understanding your application, what value your application and what is not value your application, and monitor only the things which value your application, not just do whatever. आप जाओगे किसी भी observability पे they will show हम ये कर सकते हैं, ये डाटा पॉइंट के लिए आएंगे, ये डाटा पॉइंट के लिए आएंगे, show you the whole thing. Do you really need everything? What you need is what you configure. Okay, so this is something again, accessibility of usage metrics. As I said, most of the cloud gives you in observability. Still, those applications are coming up with their billing dashboard. You can see that transparently how much it costing you. Grafana does it very well. They have their own billing dashboard. They tell you how many series are currently running, what is your load size, what is your trade size. All those things are there, so it helps having the data. Cost optimization in OpenTelemetry. So this is what I was saying. Again, I am not getting into technical details of implementation. In left side there are receivers, जहाँ से data आ रहा है. एक pipeline है processors की, process करता जा रहा है. And then at the end you send it to the backend. You have all the three places you can optimize at receiver level. तुम्हारा source itself is discarding what is not required. मान लो you are doing monitoring for a third party application. You don't have a control. It's sending everything. You have a control at the processor level, which is generally there with the operations team. They define the agent. You can control at the processor level. You do some kind of a filtering and all in there. वो भी नहीं है. Grafana का access तो है. Grafana at least gives you a chance even at a filter at the target level. जैसे what you want to discard and what you can define in there. So all three things are possible. Further, I will take example of all the three use cases. How you can do it at receiver level, how you can do it at processor level, and how. And if you want to understand OpenTelemetry in detail, maybe we can have a separate session on technical depth of OpenTelemetry. So, what is at receiver level? Sampling is generally done at a receiver level. Receiver means when your application sending a trace to your processor. So your application level you can define. On the right hand side, there is a code. I will not go through, but that is actually giving you what code you put in your application to do something. Right? So, head sampling and tail sampling depend. Head sampling just say, give me 10%. So, randomly pick. Tail sampling gives me only those which are in error. Trace for the error calls or trace for the calls where response time is more than 5 seconds. or maybe saying give me the trace for the calls which have some particular pattern. Or you might be having in your API name, you might be having something like critical API or something of that with some labeling to the name. You can say only pick traces for these APIs. All these things are possible. So that is tail sampling and head sampling. Any of these together. Head sampling is simple. Random pick 10% things do. Tail sampling required some kind of a code change in there for that. So that is at the receiver level. You can enable sampling. Enable and disable libraries. So OpenTelemetry when you do it, one of the, I mean this is from my experience. In your application, everything is not coded by you. You use JDBC driver, you might be using HTTP server, embedded in there, external jar, everything is in there. Most of these modern jars come with OpenTelemetry instrumentation out of the box. So they already have an OpenTelemetry instrumentation. As soon as you plug in a backend, it starts. That is what it is. Apache HTTP server, one of the example, it already have an OpenTelemetry in there. Now in your application, which is an envelope on top of HTTP server, you enable it here too. What is happening is HTTP is also sending the data. Application is also sending the data. Let's do the duplication. Both of them are sending. So you may want to disable at an HTTP level and use your application level things. By default, OpenTelemetry comes with enable everything. Whatever libraries you are using, as soon as they say it is an endpoint configured to send the data, they will start sending it. You just wait for it. But you may want to disable, so that's where another tip. So you can enable disable, that is again an application level, receiver level. You want to disable some of the libraries. If you see, Hotel is very generic in that you define one of the environment variables, Hotel instrumentation, common default enabled default. So there are two ways. You enable everything, go with default, and then see your backend data, analyze that, and start disabling one by one. For another way around, you disable everything, start enabling one by one to see what of things. If it is the first one, that is the first approach. You have enabled everything, now you want to disable. Hotel instrumentation underscore name enabled. Name is the library name, the standard library name. So if you do this in your application, which has instrumentation for Hotel will see you want to disable it, you will stop sending. Other way around, open instrumentation common default enabled. That means default change, you are changing default to false. Now, then you start enabling. So for the top, it will become enabled. You start enabling one by one on our application is there. So that's another tip. Now I am coming to processor. I will take 2 or 3 examples of processor. You know it, receiver, processor, receiver level, sampling, or enabling disabling library. What is processor? That is where the Hotel beauty lies. Hotel gives you a lot of power to process data before you get it to that. There are a number of processors. I am taking a couple of examples, filter and transfer. Filter, OpenTelemetry has its own language. I don't know if you know it or not. It is similar to what we have in SQL. SQL is used to query your database. This OTTL language is used to query your signals. You want to query your traces, you want to query, and before actually sending it to the backend, you want to query it based upon some condition you want to. So that is what you do with the filter processor. Again, there is the code on the right hand side. I will not go into that. This goes into a collector. This is not the code. Your receiver, processor, card, exporter configuration is your collector configuration. So you define your filter, you define. I may want to say here, if you see, if anything is coming in the matrices which has a container name, app container 1, I don't want. You may want to discard all your matrices from that. And you know your dev environment container names are there, some dev name is there, you want to just discard it. You want to discard everything which is where the application name is active. You just want to discard everything in there. So similarly, this processor applies to traces, matrices, all three signals. You can filter any of these things before it is sending it to the backend. Transform. Many a time you want to club things together. Pattern matching. The pattern one was the value was know your pattern. So if you know your pattern, you want to define that pattern here. तुम्हारे पास 25 API ला रहे हैं, सबका एक ही पैटर्न है, club them together into one and send it across. Just clubbing all the APIs into one. You define that pattern, that is a transform tool. Transform just doesn't do that. You can create new attributes, you can remove attributes, you can rename attributes, everything is possible. But in the FinOps world, you may want to just know your pattern, club them together, and send it as a single ending. So that is the transform processor. Again, it applies to all three, trace, matrixing, and log. So this is another example. Okay, I think this is just an extension of it. Now it's not going back. This is extension here. So example actually takes care of your trace, I mean it has all the three. Trace, log, and all the three. Transformation of all the three. Aggregation and an exporter. So I will take an example of backend. How backend can help you in doing this now. So at the backend level, each in Grafana has a feature called what it do. See, all your alerting, right? It happens from the backend. All your notification is happening at the backend. All your dashboard creation is happening at the backend. Everything is at the backend, right? What it do is it checks out across the usage. Is there any metric which is part of your? Is there any metric which is part of your alert? Is there any metric which is varied by anybody in the past few months? If not, we're really it. Nobody is querying it. I have not created any alert on it. I have not created any dashboard on it. Do I really need that? Give you those recommendations. That these are the metrics which you have not used in last 6 months in any analysis, any query, any dashboard, any alerting. Do you really need them? If not, you apply at that adaptive matrix policy at the backend. And will start dropping them. Not store it. There is a possibility you might be using it very occasionally. In that case, it might be best to aggregate. 8 data points to single point में convert करते हैं. So that is Grafana gives you that power to the FinOps server. Okay, I think not going next. Sorry. Okay, that's what. So all my pictures I just want to give is being taken from British. Tell me to do the citation. If I am using that, that is three pictures. So all of them are taken from British. I have used Grafana logo. Grafana. About adaptive matrices, that is again Grafana picture. So thanks to Grafana for that. Yeah. Any answer? You are looking for any answer? I try to keep it small. I know I can do it hungry. You can reach me out during the lunch break if you have any questions or if you want to learn about observability, you want your career in observability world. Question? Yep.
So, I see that you have invested quite a lot of your knowledge in this application, and it is very helpful to this space. However, I would like to understand how much of the cost we can optimize with this little filtration mechanisms that or aggregation mechanisms that you are making us aware of.
Okay, so all these things are coming from my experience of migration. We did from one tool to another tool. I will give you the estimate when we started, when the migration got completed. We are at equal level, but we were giving it to the vendor one. We are at similar level at the vendor two. Then we started applying this mechanism. Saving 70% plus. Why I am saying this, if you have not seen what OpenTelemetry do, you will not see the value. Too much. OpenTelemetry is too much. It gives you a lot of data. When you enable it, and that is with only automatic instrumentation. You have not done anything in the code yet. You have not started creating your code level matrices yet. Even with the default, it gives you a lot of things. Especially in the cloud, it is even more. Even if you start giving you matrices of managed services of cloud, which you may already be dependent on the cloud, right? Cloud is giving you availability. You don't need to verify. If those managed services have OpenTelemetry instrumentation inbuilt, it will start giving you even that. Give me an example of distributed server. Apache actually server comes with OpenTelemetry embedded, the latest version. I start giving you a lot of data. I don't need it because I'm already taking it from the upper layer, which is my application, which is using that distributed server. There's a lot of application. So we save 70%, but it's I would say quite a lot. It's not something, I mean, we are investing a lot and not saving much. It's quite a lot.
Just quick question. You went from one enterprise to another enterprise, right?
Yes.
Although you would have an option of going open source as well. So what was that decision criteria that you, because if you have a team, it's in the enterprise, you would have a well enough team who could have it capable enough to handle the OSS problems also. So why enterprise and why not OSS?
One line question, I don't want to manage Grafana.
Right.
Simple one line answer. I don't have expertise to manage hosted Grafana. It has to have a local time to manage your promises data within the backend. Somebody has to manage it. I don't have it. And of course, it's not free still. You're still paying the platform, right? You're still paying for the infra, right?
But did you do a comparison of the pricing between the managed solution and the infra cost over here, or whatever the cost would come up?
Not yet, but we do have a couple of clients which do not want to open up their endpoints to the internet because we think so they have to have a managed. Hopefully, when we have that experience, we'll have some idea of how much saving it can have on the. But open source Grafana have all the features which enterprise doesn't have. There's no difference.
That's why my question came in, because I have used both, and that's why, because usually when we do comparison on a smaller scale, the open source has a not drastic, I would say, but quite a difference in the cost. That's why.
It's just that how much you extra pay to manage it.
Yes, exactly.
So if I have very cheap resources who can manage it, of course.
And because at your scale, you can also go for a comparatively bigger discount. For example, Vanta would be one of those examples. When we try to negotiate a discount for smaller clients, it's like 20, maximum 25%. But if we go on enterprise level discounting, they go up to 60%. So in your case, that discounting would be even more. That's why the price comparison would become very much interesting to see how much it comes up.
Maybe next year when we will have a meetup, I will compare. I don't have experience as of now. Maybe another 6 months to a year, I will surely have experience.
So, what kind of a scale, okay, is OpenTelemetry, which from Grafana